Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast, proud to be the world's #1 community for brilliant childcare leaders. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Elif Childcare Insurance. Give Blake a call at 972-232-2258 to get a free quote on childcare business insurance today. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Episode 85 of the Childcare Genius podcast.
We're your humble hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre. Thank you for joining us today. We're doing episode 85. And before we begin, I want to remind you that tickets are now on sale for our Childcare Genius Leverage Conference in Montego Bay, Jamaica, the country of Jamaica. And we're going to teach you how to have leverage in your childcare business. Go to childcaregenius.com for more information and go to the conference tab and buy your tickets. They're on sale right now, $499. All-inclusive resort. It's amazing. You want to be there. So this month we are interviewing the next few episodes, Multicenter owners. And this week we are interviewing Rigoberto and Carmen Leal. And they have schools down in the Miami area. They just opened their 3rd school and they have an amazing story. And we've been coaching them in our coaching program for a little while now, and they're having amazing results. And we look forward to this amazing episode. So let's get Carmen and Rigoberto on the line. Hi, Rigoberto and Carmen. Welcome to the Childcare Genius podcast. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing awesome. How about you guys?
We're really good here. It's actually in the 40s up here in February. In Maine, we're recording this. Actually, it's March, isn't it? I forgot it turned into March.
Yes.
And weather's nice. The snow is almost gone. I bet you're not worried about how much snow did you shovel in Miami this year?
We got none. Zero.
You have white sand instead of white snow, right?
That is correct.
White sand.
Well, we're excited to have you on the podcast. You're one of our favorite people that we've been working with on our coaching program. And I said, you know what? I want to get Rigoberto and Carmen. You're doing great things down in Miami. Just opened a brand new school. We want to have you on our podcast and be a blessing to some of our listeners out there. So before we get started, tell a little bit about your background, how you found your way into the childcare business so many moon ago.
Will do. Thank you for having us. We're blessed to be on the team here with Childcare Genius for sure. We started a year after we were married. We knew we wanted to open up our own business. We just didn't know what type of business. Family member of my mother-in-law's kind of showed us his business up in West Palm Beach. And it was pretty much from there, we just went straight to our first center. It was a very, very difficult center to get into because the owner tried to cheat us out of it after 6 weeks. She was doing some backdoor deals that they had to come and tell us on a Saturday. And then at that point in time, we actually had to kick her out of the center. So that was our start to the childcare business.
It was a little bit difficult also in the sense that adding to that, taking children away, telling them that we were eventually, our idea was to close the center, so not to leave the children in the center, that we were going to fire all the teachers. I mean, it was a little bit rough there.
Wow. Interesting story. That's awesome.
So could you tell our audience a little bit about your childcare centers and what makes you different than other centers in your area?
Sure. Our childcare centers start from infants through 4 years old, which is VPK here in Florida, called a voluntary pre-kindergarten, which is the 4-year-old classroom. And then we also do kindergarten up through 6th grade. We also do after school. We have summer camps. So we've got a wide range of activities going on a daily basis with our schools. At first, we were very different in doing that. But throughout the years, a lot of the centers in the area have kind of done the same thing. So it's a mix of not just early childhood, but it's also elementary grades. Anything?
Yes, that is. I know sometimes we speak to people from other states, especially now in the Childcare Genius family, and they're surprised at this. And they're not used to listening to this because in reality, it's two different curriculums, two different set of staff, two different set of demands from parents. Because what one parent from the childcare area expects or demands is completely different from what the elementary side demands. So in that sense, it's very busy, it's very entertaining, never a dull moment.
No.
No, you don't. They don't get in the childcare business if you want to be bored with your job. Never double.
That's for sure.
Yes.
Never the same day twice.
Yeah, no kidding. So, what obstacles did you face when trying to open your first school?
When we first purchased the first school, we were both in finance. I was running a finance company in Hollywood, Florida. Carmen was a finance manager at a car dealership. We met in college, so both of our degrees are in business. And we walked into the childcare business absolutely green, not knowing anything. I did some teaching, but it was ESOL teaching when I was younger. But that's pretty much the bulk of the experience that we had. It was all new to us. And it was just breaking down every weekend, learning a lot more. We found ourselves going back to the library of the university we went to, which was FIU. And during the weekends, we did a lot of trainings, just Carmen and I, just trying to learn the business. And I believe that was the biggest challenge above and beyond what that original owner put in front of us, which really was not a very businesslike or a nice thing at all to do.
Awesome.
How many years passed between opening of your first school and your second school?
So we purchased our first school. Within a year and a half, Carmen was pregnant with our first child, which is Nicholas. And Nicholas was raised pretty much in the child cares that we had. Right around 4.5 years after we bought our first one, we were given a phone call and we said, call this number. And we did. And that school was for sale, but not really for sale. That's kind of the way that it was put to us. But that family had to move on for personal reasons. And then we purchased that center directly from the owner. There was nobody else involved. And that was a true blessing in disguise. It was basically double the license capacity of our first center, or our original center.
So that was get you to center number 2. So there was a couple years between the first and the second. And I remember the first time I met you, you're like, I don't know if I want to do another school. And that was about a year ago. And, you're comfortable where you're at. And all of a sudden I got a call that says, Brian, can you check out this school I want to buy? And I was like, oh, cool. So how many years went by between number 2 and number 3? And tell us a little bit about your third school.
We'd love to. So from number 2 to number 3 was 23 years difference of time. Yes, we did not want to purchase another center. When we were in amazing Jamaica, the Childcare Genius, where we met you and Carol, your amazing team. We wanted to get out. The idea was sell the centers, keep real estate, and continue our small real estate portfolio. But I got a phone call in November, and it's usually in life when you are at your most comfort level is when they make you uncomfortable, right? So this school landed in our laps. A very good friend of mine knew that I've been in the business. We've been in the business for so many years. School was literally 30 minutes from our house. At that point in time, Carmen and I really didn't know what to do. My son had been working with us now for over 2 years. And my son, we kind of gave him the idea of what we're thinking with school number 3. He thought about it, and a couple of days later, he says, I'm all in, ready. So now it became a legacy. Now it became a true family business. The negotiations were tough. South Florida business is not for the kind of hearts, that's for sure. Very difficult down here. We had some bumps in the road, and at one point in time, the deal was dead. Finally came back up, and we just closed 10 days ago on this third center.
Well, we're so happy for you and proud of you for getting a third school in. And even though it's been 20 something years, it's probably a little bit easier to open a school when you're in your 30s, a little bit older. It's a little bit more challenging. But you know what? I'm proud of you for taking that leap. We haven't opened a new school in a while. It's not easy. There's a lot of work involved, and I'm glad you're able to do that. So good for you. How do you manage to run multiple schools? Like, how do you guys, I know you work together. How do you do it? How do you run 3 schools? Some people are like, they have one, like I'm working 40, 50 hours a week. How do you do multiple schools?
Well, the way we do it is Rigoberto and I, we split our responsibilities. He's mostly responsible for the accounting, the all of that has to do with the financial of the schools. I mostly take care of the teachers, the curriculum, the parents. I'm more of the face of the school. On top of that, we have a great team, okay, that we learned from you guys actually. So we have a main director. We call her the executive director. She overlooks all 3 schools, and in each school we have a director. So we do have a personal responsibility in each school, which report to our executive director, which she reports directly to us. Nevertheless, we are very much involved in the daily of all 3 schools. We have constant communication with all of our directors, but we do give them some freeway. You know, we trust them, and they've been with us for many, many years. Now with the third one, this is a testing time because we don't know this. We just acquired it. We don't know the personnel yet. But in the first 2, we have the experience, and we give them a lot of freedom to make a lot of decisions that they need to make. And of course, everything needs to go through the executive director. Sometimes we work overtime. We get home and we're still talking about the business. I don't know if it's our character that, I mean, we just want to, keep on and push on and move forward and get it going. But that's mostly how we do it.
So Roberto, let me ask you, can you ever picture yourself ever not working next to your best friend every day?
It's a great question. No, I couldn't picture it. I truly value it. We have such a great relationship. I'm totally blessed, honestly, absolutely totally blessed. And I'm going to share a quick story. I don't know if even Carmen might know this story. When I was in 6th grade in elementary school, I went to a Catholic elementary school, and I had a nun by the name of Sister Louise. And she asked us to say, okay, what is it that you want to be when you grow up? And that was an essay we had to write. Well, usually it's the fireman and the policeman and the astronaut and things of that nature. Well, my essay was I wanted to be a dad, a husband, and a family man. And she called me up in private and asked me, what was that all about? We had just gone through some family issues on my side, and there was nothing more that I wanted to be a family person, a family man. And that dream has been completely realized with this, because now my son being in the business, my wife and I always being together, I couldn't have written this story better than it is today. So I'm blessed.
Yeah. Nothing better. I or some people say, I don't know how you could work with your wife all day. I'm like, I don't know how you could work without yours all day.
True.
It's just, I mean, we get to hang out all day. Carol came up the stairs today and I was like, oh my God, what did I say to you?
I don't know. I don't remember exactly. It's just like you are so beautiful or something.
Oh yeah.
I don't know exactly what you
She's
said, but
just I tell her every day, at least I try to tell her every day how beautiful she is. She just came up the stairs today. I'm like, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I get to work with this beautiful woman every day. And it's just such a blessing. And we interview a lot of couples on the podcast that work together as well. And it's a blessing for us to work with so many amazing couples to do that. So if you don't think you could do it, we'll help you do it. If you're listening in and like, I don't think I could do it, we'll give you some tips and tools. It's not easy at first, but once you get in the groove, I don't know how people don't do it. It really is. It's amazing. I'm gone a couple hours. She's gone a couple hours running errands. I'm like, I miss her. I'm kind of bored without her. All right. So moving on.
Wonderful.
how has coaching helped you grow your business?
You want to start? Coaching has been an incredible integral part of growing our business within the last year and a half. Just to take a quick backtrack, the reason why we spent 23 years not growing the business, number one, we were very comfortable, like we mentioned in the past. But second, and most importantly, is spend that time raising our children and being part of their lives. My son played baseball all his life. I coached him all the way through until he got to high school and university. My daughter did competitive cheer, and we also were an integral part of all of their activities. And we are so thankful that the business was able to provide us that leisure lifestyle. And now find ourselves working the business more than ever because we don't have to go spend time doing any of that anymore. Both of our children are graduated from college. They have their degrees, and it's an amazing thing. Where now we have so much time, so we're putting it back into the childcare business, and we kind of lost touch. And with coaching, with your coaching, we have been able to really sharpen as many tools as we can find in that shed and put them to work.
That's awesome.
So I have to say that the coaching helped us. There's times that you think you have everything figured out and it's working. And if it's working, why are you going to change it? We had a little bit of a hiccup when COVID came. I think a lot of us did. And we sat down, Rigoberto and I, and we said, we need to come up with something different. We need to come up with a plan, okay? Because things didn't go back to the way it was before COVID. So we started thinking, and then this came up, the coaching, and it has opened so many horizons, so many ideas, so many ways of doing things differently. It all brings success in every sense of the word. I mean, in every aspect that we look at, whether it's informative, whether you're talking to a parent, whether it's how you're handling your staff, in every sense of the word, what we applied, what we learned from you guys, it's successful. It works.
We definitely love working with you guys. And I remember getting a call from you. I was in a hotel somewhere traveling and needed help with your acquisition. And I was like, because when you deal with large numbers, you can't make mistakes, and the mistakes are costly. So by running it by a second set of eyes, it makes you think of things that you might not have thought about. And people that do it on their own, I did on my own the first, 17 years of my business. I made tons of mistakes. If I lost $1 million doing dumb stuff, a coach would have helped me early on as well. And it's just, sometimes it's not about making the right decision. Sometimes it's about avoiding the wrong decisions. And that's where coaching comes in too, to help you avoid making some of those mistakes. So great questions. So where do you see yourself 3 years from now? Where are you headed?
Well, our 5-year plan back in September was the exit plan. Um, you know, my son being on board, we're going to help him as much as we can. He's already mentioned a few times that he wouldn't mind overseeing all the other two schools. So if this works out well, and I have no doubt that it will work out well, I will not put forth the idea of growing to maybe a fourth or fifth center. Even though my age is telling me not to, with the team that we have now, we can handle the fourth. Our center sizes are 150, 290, and now this one 180. So they're larger centers. But I love it. I love the challenge. I really do.
Yeah, every year, I always recommend people do a long-term plan every year where they're going to be 5 years because it changes. And it's, as we get older, sometimes it changes. And I've worked with a lot of people who want to get out of the business and then a year later working with me and they love it again. So it just, things can change over time. To never make firm decisions until you're ready to make firm decisions. Be fluid, be willing to change, and always think long term. But know that as we get older, we get more wise and think fun things. And if it's still fun, don't stop doing it.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. When childcare is not fun anymore, then it's time to get out. I always tell people, regardless of any goals or anything, it's got to be fun. My goal, I guess, at Childcare Genius is to make childcare fun again. It's just, you should be having fun, and enjoying what you do every day where it's not work. And like I do every day, I come to work every day with my best friend and I have fun at what I do. And you can't beat that. All right. So,
you attended our leverage conference in Jamaica. What was your experience like there?
Experience was fantastic. We really did not know what to expect. Being in a beautiful resort on the beach in Jamaica, the last thing you want to do is sit in a conference room, right? And listen to people talk. But the leverage conference was fantastic. The way that it was structured, and where right after lunch or right around the lunchtime route, you can enjoy your day. Wow, what an amazing thought that was. So now you have the best of all worlds there in Jamaica and on the leverage conference, where you are being educated and you're never too old to continue learning. And you're learning just these amazing nuggets that we picked up. And then in the afternoon, what better than being on the beach or being in a pool and networking and talking to other people that are in your same business. Fantastic idea. I wish we would do it more often, but I understand logistically it's very difficult nowadays. But that 1 year, that year, it's an amazing thing. I highly recommend.
I specifically enjoyed the fact that there was a diversity of themes being discussed, conferences. You could either learn financially how to approach the business, or marketing, or training, forms. There was a diversity of lectures that they were all very, very good. And the other thing that I enjoyed was speaking to other people in the business. You share ideas. When we were mingling in the pool, you share ideas with them. How do you do it? What do you suggest? Well, let me ask you. That is so important because, again, like I said earlier, you think you have everything under control and it's working, but there's always a different new way that you can improve. And that sharing and talking with other people was amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. So people, at least to get to see what kind of people attend our conference and what they got out of it. And also, I mean, we've had several guests on over the last few weeks that have been to our conference and are going to be at our conference this year. You get to sit with these people when you come and mix and mingle and pick their brains. So tickets are on sale now. Buy them now. All right. Last question. If you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Wow, that's a great question. I take some soul searching also. But as far as the business aspect goes, I probably would have been more aggressive in buying real estate. Because real estate is something that I've always wanted to become more and more active in. We didn't really have a lot of the time because of the way we were with our children. So I think that would have been the only thing different. But I would have definitely gotten to this business. This is a wonderful business to be in, especially being it with my wife and family. What better than to serve the most amazing thing in the world, which is these little angels that come in through those front door every single day. And they scream your name out and they give you a hug. And then 15 years later, they come in and say hello. And they're a grown adult with their career. It's an amazing business. We've had a great time.
I think it's very touching what Rigoberto says. When you go in every day and they come unto you and they scream your name and they come and they hug you. And even more amazing that they come back after 15, 20 years and you see them walking in through the door and it's like, oh my goodness, I am still here. I'm getting old. And look at this year. He's a young man already or a young woman. And it happens every week. They come and see us. And that gets me emotional because it's amazing that I take it like I did a change in that child. And because they remember and they come back and visit. And to me, that's really special.
When they start bringing their kids to your school,
Oh yeah,
and they start working at your school.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you start having
True.
the grandkids of the kids that you took care of. Yeah, then you start dating how old you really are and how long you've been doing it. But it's also a blessing that they trust their own kids at a place that they went as well. So we love that. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life to share. We're so proud of you, all the success you accomplished. Look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas real soon.
Sure.
I know you're bringing a bunch of your team there and look forward to seeing you in Jamaica at the end of the year. And again, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy that Miami sun. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
I guess.
That was a great interview.
I like them. They're so sweet. They kind of remind me of us. They're about the same age. They've been working together about the same amount of years, have a lot in common, except they don't shovel snow.
Yeah.
They shovel sand down in Miami.
Last year at the Leverage Conference. That's when we met them.
It is at the Leverage Conference, last year. And they talked a little bit about the conference and how much they like it. And if you want to meet them and sit with them and talk to them at our conference, we'd love to have you. So again, go to childcaregenius.com and get tickets to our Leverage Conference, and you could meet them and hang out with them and talk to them. So if you need help in your childcare business and you would like a free coaching call with one of our certified coaches in any of the area that you're struggling in, just go to childcaregenius.com. Under the coaching tab, select that like a free coaching call, and you're guaranteed to come away with 2 or 3 action items to help you grow your business. So this concludes episode 85 of the Child Care Genius podcast. Thank you again for taking time out of your life to spend some time with us.
And just a reminder to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Child Care Genius podcast. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.